You know who I am?
Anything you say. Anything you say.
It's official.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas, back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, in the news this week, nothing major, nothing really new. Same old, same old. You're an idiot if you're going to vote for the Communist Party of Kamala Harris or the Democrats. But I didn't see anything really big. We already talked about, they tried again to assassinate him. Obviously, they want communism, and people are dumb if they don't realize that. So they know Trump will fix shit, and they're trying to get rid of him because he's not a part of the Communist Party. He's trying to save our country. Anyways, let's get on to what I really want to talk to you about. I'm just going to let you know now, I am watching that Agatha, I don't know how, whatever, Agatha all along. It's the most gay Marvel show ever. Blah, 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 blah. It's an alphabet community type show. Most of the characters are in some way or form or some type of sexual orientation that's towards being gay. Don't even get me started on the femboy. Pathetic character. I like the story concept of her having to go and get like misfits of the Wiccan community or whatever. I like that concept. What I don't like is the characters. They suck. All the characters pretty much suck. I do not like the MCU's version of Agatha. She sucks. I like the comic book character in the comics. I just don't like this version. It's terrible. Absolutely hate the FBI agent. It's a dumbass character. That's my main problem with this show. The story concept's a cool concept, but the rest of it sucks. So far, they've only got 2 episodes out, but it's a terrible show. They could have done so much better. The woman who wrote it, stop using female feminist writers. Jeez. She doesn't even know anything about fucking comics. She knows nothing about the character. She admits it. She just made shit up. So what the fuck? Oh, so dumb. I hate that shit. You don't even know the story, and you're trying to tell a story about that character. You don't know the character. It's dumb. But yeah, I'm forcing myself to watch it so I can give a full review on it when it's all out and done. They've already canceled the show. There's not going to be a season 2 because people have complained too much about it already. because they did it wrong. Anyways, there's one aspect of the show already that I'm going to mention. They have a scene where these witches are coming towards the house to get Agatha and kill her. And Disney does this in several of their new shows. They have like a monster or an evil person, whatever, bad guy, villain. And they do this slow, creep walk that takes them 20 minutes to get where they're going. And then the good guy doesn't even fight him or whatever. And they don't fight. They just do this slow creep walk for 20 minutes. I've seen, like, they did it at Percy Jackson with all the monsters. Every single one of them. Slow creep walk. That takes like 20 minutes of the episode for them to get to them. And then they don't even do anything. There's no fight or anything. It's dumb. Anyways. Enough of that shit. Just letting you know, I am watching it just to give what's already going to be a bad review, apparently. But you'd think Disney would have learned their lesson after this Wolverine Deadpool movie did so well. But no, they just keep going back to the feminism crap, which doesn't work. Nobody wants to see that shit. Okay. Moving on. I finished playing this game, you know, a little ways back, but haven't done a review on it yet. And that's Diablo 2. Now, I was playing Lord of Destruction, and there's a version called Resurrection where they just, all they did was basically enhance the graphics, visualization of the game. The gameplay's a little bit smoother. And, you know, they might have added a little more equipment or something to some of the classes. You have, let's see, I'm trying to think here. You got, I think it's 7 classes. The Amazon, the Barbarian, the Necromancer, the Sorceress, the Paladin, the Druid, and the Assassin. So you have 7 classes to choose from in this one. In the original game, which I loved, the original game you only had 3 classes. You had the Magician or Sorcerer, and then you had the Warrior and the Rogue. Why you can't switch male or female, I don't know why Blizzard didn't allow that. You only have one sex to choose from, whichever class you choose. That makes no sense. You should have been able choose between a male or female of each class. But you have the 7 classes in this one, and they did do a few things differently than the original, the first Diablo. Like, for instance, the Sorceress, or the way, not just the Sorceress, but the way they did magic in this is a little bit different. In the first game, the Magician, he'd collect a book of magic and you click on to learn that particular magic. And the more you collected, the higher your level in that magic you would go. If it was the same type of magic, like if you collected a book with a different spell, then you get that particular magic. But the more books of that particular spell, the higher or more powerful that magic became. Now in this one, I think just about everyone can collect books of magic. It don't work the same way because it's not magic spells. They're basically teleport scrolls and scrolls of identify is what your books are. They're not really magic books. So you don't collect magic the same way. And eventually you don't even need those scrolls of identify. The teleport scrolls, you want to keep a few of those. So you don't have to, if you get a lot of items or something, you can teleport back to town and sell them and then go back to where you were. The scrolls of identify, once you get Cain, he's an NPC in the game. Once you collect Cain or save him, there's a mission where you got to go save him, and then once you collect him, he'll identify any item you have from that point forward. You just go talk to him. He's always in the middle of town, whichever town you're in, because there's like 4 acts. And what I mean by acts is you'll do a series of quests or missions, and then you'll move on to a different area, different part of the world of Diablo. And there's 5 of them. Now, it's like every couple of areas, you got to fight one of the main bosses, the 3 brothers, Diablo, Mephisto, I think is the other one, and then Baal, I believe. There's 3 brothers, main demons or evil guys. The game, I love the game. I love Diablo. My problem is I wanted to try to get, try every class and learn a lot of their skills and magic. Each one has a various set of skills. Magic, there's 3. Each one of them has 3 sets of them. For instance, the Necromancer has the bone spells. He has curse spells, and then he has summoning undead spells. So you have 3 sets of those, and you could put, like when you level up, you get points to put on these spells to either get a newer spell or upgrade one of your previous spells that you already got. You don't want to put a whole bunch of points at the very beginning into the first of the spells you get, because you're going to waste your points for the better, higher spells. Now, when it came to the Necromancer, for example, I pretty much stuck with just one set of skills or magic. I stuck with the summoning, but you can't put all your points, like I said. Like you could summon skeletons, but they're very cheap. And the more points you put on there, the less effective they become. So after like, say 4 or 5 points, if you want to make them that strong, you should stop and concentrate your points on other stuff. The other two, like, he has a set of curses, but they're not very effective. They only last a few seconds. And then, you know, he has the poison, the bone spells or whatever. And most of that has to do with like poison and stuff like that. Which you could literally take your green jewel and put it on a weapon and it gives you poison. So there's no point in it. So that's why and most of everyone's skill sets are kind of like that. You have 2 of them that aren't really very effective, and there's no point in doing it. You just concentrate on one set of skills. Now, you have these jewels, different colored jewels, green, red, rubies, topaz, you know, emerald, you get it. Each one gives you a bonus on either armor or weapons, and it's a little bit different for each one. If the armor or the weapon has slots that you can attach these jewels to. Your magical weapons, once in a while you'll have a magical weapon that does something completely different, has nothing to do with like the jewels. But for the most part, you should just collect the jewels and attach them to your armor or weapons. They'll give you all your magic you need. Looking for specific weapons or whatever. Like they have special weapons, but you have to have like a set of them. Like they have a set, like a certain armor, you know, gloves, a weapon, a helmet. You know, it's all one set, and it'll be like in yellow. The letters will be in yellow. And, you know, trying to be able to collect all that is nearly impossible. It's almost impossible to collect a whole set that's supposed to go together. I very rarely, I might have gotten one of them items every once in a while, but to get the whole set was nearly, because if you get the whole set, you get an extra bonus if you're wearing the entire set. But good luck trying to get them all. And once in a while, you'll have a particular jewel or something similar that will go into the slot that will do something different for you. But otherwise, for the most part, even when you get the cube, there's this cube halfway through the game where you can take the jewels and make it a better jewel or some shit like that. I think I only got it like the tier 3 or 4 was like the highest jewel I could get, because it just takes a ton of jewels to get that high of a stone. Same way with the skulls. The skulls were my favorite. If you collected skulls, you get regeneration abilities, and those were my favorite to collect and put on my armor, just so I could regenerate. I didn't have to worry about potions all the time. I very rarely used mana. I usually didn't use spells that used mana. It's just a waste of time in this one. But those were some of my cons. The worst con is the fact that, you know, you can play for hours on this game, which is great, But the problem is it's a dungeon crawler. If you don't know what that is, it basically means you just go around, you kill a bunch of monsters, collecting gold, and then you repeat the process. Like every level, you're basically repeating the same process. You may have different areas and things look different and different kinds of monsters, but you're basically just going through, clearing an area, collecting gold or items or whatever, and then you repeat the process over and over and over again. Now, this eventually gets daunting, and you eventually get tired of it. So that was my biggest con, you know, because I'd play it for a while, for several hours, you know, and then I'd be like, okay, I gotta take a break and play something else. Because as I said, I was trying to go through every class. Eventually I got tired of doing that. I'd played enough with most of the classes that I just stuck with one class and made it through the entire game with one class. And the last fight, the ending fight, is way different in this one than it was the original game. In the original game, you're in hell, and you got to fight Diablo at the end. In this one, it's completely different. They make the monsters where, you know, it takes forever to kill them. There was one monster in particular, I don't know, he's some kind of angel that turned into a demon or some shit, and he's about halfway through the game, and it took forever to kill that guy. But I don't know. Those were my major cons with the game. The rest of the game's great. I love the game. I love Diablo. And I haven't played the third one or the fourth one yet. Someday I will. I just haven't gotten around to it. But Diablo 2 is a pretty cool game for a dungeon crawler. I like it. I like it a lot. 2 thumbs up. Check it out if you're looking for a good dungeon crawler. Okay, let's get on to your B movie reviews. Okay, movie holics. This month is horror month. We're coming up on that time again of the year, so we're just going to do a marathon, and I've decided to go with the Leprechaun series. There's several of them, so they should last till the end of the month of October, so we'll see. Now, the first one was done in 1993, and it made about $8.5 million. Of course, stars Warwick Davis. He's the Leprechaun. And Jennifer Aniston was in the very first one. And she was young in this one. She played the Valley princess girl type. You know. It's crazy. Like, there are scenes in there. It's like there's gasoline cans full of gasoline. Like, several times in this movie, I'm like, what the fuck? Everybody's just got gasoline laying around. I've never seen people have a can of gasoline everywhere around the house. In this one, they seem to have one in several places in the house. Now, the story goes, this guy, he steals a leprechaun's pot of gold. Or basically captures him and then takes his pot of gold. And the leprechaun wants it back. So he comes after him, ends up killing his wife and nearly kills this guy. But this guy traps him in a crate, and supposedly a 4-leaf clover. It's kind of like a cross to a vampire for a leprechaun, apparently. And he traps him in this crate and sticks the 4-leaf clover on top of the crate. Traps him. But he gets put in a mental asylum or whatever because his wife died and they think he did it. So, years later, Jennifer Aniston and the character she's playing, Tori, I think it was the name. Tori and her father end up getting this house. She doesn't like it at first until this guy named Nathan shows up. He's kind of like a painter or some shit. Fix-it man. And she's got the hots for him. So, she decides to stay instead of going to an hotel room. Her daddy should have put his foot down, but he didn't. He let her walk all over him, which is a lot of problem with parents today. They just let their kids walk all over them instead of putting their foot down, acting like a parent. But anyways, the leprechaun, the 4-leaf clover gets knocked off the crate. The leprechaun gets out and he starts chasing them because the Fix-It Man has a little brother, and his little brother has a best friend who's kind of slow. You know, he's mentally slow, handicapped. They find the gold, and then the leprechaun starts chasing all of them to get the gold back, trying to kill them. He kills a few people along the way, including the deputy. But eventually they get the best of the leprechaun and kill him by, I don't know, flinging the clover down his mouth. Was the little kid, the little brother, he shoots the clover into his mouth with a slingshot, and it blows him up and kills him, and that's supposed to be the end of the movie. It was okay. It was cheesy, but it reminded me of like a full moon movie, and I like certain cheesy horror flicks. It was alright for what it was. It's worth a one-time watch. I gave it thumbs up, thumbs down. Decent movie. Then we get on to Leprechaun 2, which they completely changed the story in this one. Now, every 1,000 years, a leprechaun is able to call or contain a bride. He just has to make her sneeze 3 times, and then he can collect her as his bride, his choice. At the very beginning, it's his first 1,000 years, but he has a slave, and his slave screws it up for him. So he has to wait another 1,000 years. Now we're in present day. You have this kid who works for this guy. He's like a con man. He does like the Hollywood of the stars of Hollywood tour kind of thing, except for it's called a little bit like a death tours. This person died at this house, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. He has a girlfriend who looks very similar to the girl at the very beginning of the movie, which they're not supposed to be related at all. Well, yeah, I think they're supposed to be. This is her descendant or some shit. But she looks exactly like her. The kid's gung-ho on saving this girl, even though she treats him like shit. He's simping for her really bad. So he's constantly having to fight the Leprechaun, which every once in a while, for some odd reason, a gold piece of his ends up winding up in somebody else's hand. One piece, and he's constantly going around killing people trying to get this one piece back. The kid gets it, finds out he can't kill him if he's got a part of his gold. So he decides to go after the girl, which is imprisoned in the Leprechaun's home. He's got to go through a bunch of traps or whatever. Eventually, though, he also finds out that iron, they made it in this one where iron, like cast iron, it'll burn him or hurt him, the Leprechaun. So he goes there to kill him with a piece of cast iron. They eventually, thwart the Leprechaun, and all ends well that ends well, blah blah blah. They survive, but he flips at the very end. He flips the gold coin. He doesn't want to keep it anymore, so he thinks it's too much trouble. So he flips it and leaves it there, right in the front of the tree that's the house of the Leprechaun. And that's the end of the movie. Him and the girl walk off together. It's okay. The girl's name, the actress, is Shavana Durkin, and of course Warwick Davis plays Leprechaun. I've never heard of her before. The movie was okay. It was cheesy. It was cheesier than the first one. It only made about, it was done in 94, and it only made about $3 million. First one was done in 93. It's okay for a one-time watch. It wasn't super bad, but it wasn't really that great. It was definitely cheesy B-rated acting in this movie. The only one who acted really good was Warwick Davis, of course. He's an A-list actor. Everybody else was pretty cheesy acting. So yeah, like I said, it's pretty cheesy. Warwick Davis was the only one who did some decent acting. Everybody else was just mediocre. Check it out if you want. It's okay for a one-time watch. Something to watch, but don't expect any like it being like really great or anything. I give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. It was okay. So that's pretty much all I have for you this week. If you could think of anything that I talked about earlier in the video that you have some thoughts on, leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you can think of any B-rated or underrated movies you think I may never even heard of before, leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below, and I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So until next time, I told you be told the truth, and you just been told.